Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Welcome back to episode number 39 of the Brew Bucks podcast. How we doing, buddy?
Dude, it is a nice, beautiful, rainy night here for the podcast, and I'm loving it. Just
Yeah.
that's the mood.
Yeah, I know. Nice little drizzle outside, some lightning here and there.
Yeah, perfect beer drinking night.
Yeah, up cozy, got the heater blasting. Feels good in here,
And it's a new year.
and we're not sweating. Yeah. Well, welcome back, everyone. Um, Good to be here on this new year. I don't know. Do you feel any different?
I don't want to get any older. It's just that I just want to stay young forever.
I think they're trying to work on that.
I won't be able to afford it.
What's our question of the day?
All right. Our question of the day comes from Holly in Pennsylvania. So shout out to Holly in Pennsylvania. You guys got some great beer out there. I think one of the beers we're drinking today is from there. So
True
listen
that.
ahead. Her question is, it's the start of the New Year's, guys. Many people have New Year's resolutions. Do you two have New Year's resolutions for yourselves?
Well, why don't you go first?
I kind of hate resolutions, but I still set one for myself usually every year, and I always fail. But I think just a big one for me is just being more organized. I think like I'm the king at forgetting things, and I don't know. I just got to be more organized. And
Yeah, maybe I don't know, using some more notebooks, some more reminders, calendars, things
yeah,
of that
I
nature.
think calendars would be good. I probably should use my calendar more. I'm like, oh, I got it up here, and then I just forget it. So
Yeah,
don't
totally.
post yourself.
Write more things down. Brain dump, as I like to think of it. So I do every morning. I wake up, very first thing, grab my notebook and dump out everything in my brain. Makes me feel better.
All right.
Makes me keep on task.
My New Year's resolution: take more dumps. I mean, brain dumps.
I'm gonna show this on YouTube, but I'll show you guys my personal notebook and everything that I
Ooh.
use it for every day. It's called Own Your Day. I don't know if it's gonna adjust here very well, but it's got really all the most important things to me on here. Making sure I'm exercising every day, making sure I'm reading every day, journaling, making genuine time to connect with my spouse, drinking plenty of water, my most important next step on whatever goal it is that I have coming up, and then a spot for me to do my brain dump as far as like tasks and things that I need to get done. And then on the backside is just some room for me to journal and practice gratitude. I've never been really a big journaler growing up, or I don't know, I guess never really thought of the idea of journaling, but heard it's really good for you. And there is something soothing, again, like I said, just about putting your thoughts to paper, and just waking up every day and practicing gratitude, I think is a life hack, and especially when you try to really think of something different every day. It's not just well, I'm thankful I woke up today. It's really having to dig deep about the things that you're thankful in life for is a special thing to do every day. And so I've been going strong at it for 6 months now. I made the notebook 6 months ago, and
I'm sorry, you made it?
I did. Yeah,
Nice,
I did
nice.
make it. So
So can our listeners at home get it?
yeah, absolutely. And we're selling them for $25 right now. Trying to get the price down. Just need to work with a couple different paper printers, manufacturers, notebook makers. I don't know.
Thunder Mifflin.
Yep, Dunder Mifflin. Yeah. I got to give Michael Scott a call. But yeah, they're cool. So if you want one, hit us up, send us an email or shoot us a DM, anything like that. But yeah, kind of like what you were saying. I think kind of the beginning of last year, really wanted to get more organized as well, and um, kind of on the subject of New Year's resolutions. Andy Frisella had released a podcast episode today, and sometimes he can be a little bit over the top for people, but this was a really good episode where he was just kind of talking about the art of resolutions, and he was really just kind of saying, like, obviously everyone knows most resolutions fail within the first like week, right? Everyone knows that people give up or they get tired or they make excuses, whatever it is, right? And so he really kind of was challenging people to not think of them as New Year's resolutions and more think of them as, hey, like if this is the thing that you want, and this is whether it's, hey, I want to get in shape, or hey, I want to start saving money, like you can't just be setting this resolution of, I'm going to save more money this year. It's got to be a, hey, this is the plan. this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to execute. And he really talks about the fact that it's not a resolution that you're trying to build, it's discipline that you're trying to build. And a lot of people look at other successful people or people who are doing the things that they want to do and think, oh, wow, that person's so successful, or that person, is so good at saving money, or that person's, so good at being fit or going to the gym or whatever. But it's not, discipline is not a trait, it is a skill that you have to develop. And I think, a lot of people really do look at it in that way of like, oh, wow, that person has these traits that I don't. But in reality, discipline is one of those skills that you truly have to practice and have to build and master as a skill, and not just something that is people are just born with. I was never disciplined growing up, but it's something that like I have always had to practice like daily over, especially over the last couple years. And it's hard. Like on New Year's Day, or New Year's Eve, I went to sleep at 9 a.m. because I knew I had to be up at 5 a.m. in the gym the next morning, and I was the only person there. And does it suck not going out and partying and drinking and staying up to midnight and having fun? Yeah, but I made a commitment to myself of I'm gonna go to the gym every morning before work at 5 a.m. because that is the system that I'm putting in place, and that is the discipline that I need to build to be the person that I want to be. And it sucks saying no, but that is how it happens. And so anywho, not sure how many Andrew Frisella lovers we got out there, but
I don't know
he's,
who he is, so
yeah, you definitely would. I'm not. You wouldn't love all of his stuff, but he created the program 75 Hard, which is really all about mastering discipline. And it's a super cool, badass, program that when people actually make it through, it's not just some fad diet like keto or something like that. It's really more of there is stuff like that. There's exercising, there's eating healthy, drinking water, all that kind of stuff. But a lot of it has to do with like the mental aspect and again, overall just building discipline. So I think it's pretty cool. But
nice.
yeah, kind of a long intro, but
No such
it's
thing.
New Year's, so
Yeah. So
gotta
who's
talk
our
about
guest today? We got
resolutions.
a very special guest today.
Yeah, we do. So we got our buddy Doug back on the podcast, but on the opposite side of the mic, which is cool. And Doug tells us all about his experience on Whatnot, and it's a platform I've never used, but a platform that he's been using as a side hustle to make additional income. And so, like we said on a previous episode, we're going to be doing a little side hustle series going on, and this is going to be our first side hustle that we're talking about that you might be able to use to turn a passion into a income producer. So, without giving away too much, we'll bring in Doug and let him explain it. So, here we go. One, Doug on the other side of the podcast today. How we doing, man?
Doing great. Doing awesome. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing great. It's a nice rainy night here in California. How's it looking in Texas?
It was 79 degrees about 30 minutes ago when I got back to my apartment. So it was nice outside. I was cold in my apartment, so I put a hoodie on.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. Wasn't it like negative something over there a little while ago though?
Yeah, and then the Thursday before Christmas, it was 14 with a wind chill of -1. So yeah,
Jeez.
I can't handle that.
Well, this is going to be fun. Doug has been on the show, as mentioned beforehand, as a host. And so I'm excited to hang out with you on the other side. And the three of us is the first time all three of us are together on the podcast. So I'm excited about that. But we're going to do the same old thing we always do, and that's drink some beer. So,
yeah. So,
Alec,
I guess I'm going to start off with that. All right. Well, today it's called Only NY Brown Ale. It is brewed by Brooklyn Brewery. They are obviously located in Brooklyn, and it's a collaboration with Only NY. And I'd never heard of Only NY as a brewery. Turned out it's a clothing brand. So they did some collaboration with this clothing brand called Only NY. They made some pretty cool stuff. I was checking them out before the show. It is a barrel-aged ale, and I'll read you the description it has. This Ruby Brown Ale was dreamed up with our neighbors at Only NY, featuring hints of caramel, coffee, and roasted nuts. It has impeccable taste, just like the team that created it. So let's give it a sip.
I thought it was going to have some play on like they only make New England style or I don't know, hazy beers or something.
It is very the caramel is quite a bit. Like it's very caramely and just like a hint of coffee, but it's pretty drinkable for even a 6.4%. It's not very boozy at all or anything, but I definitely like that. It has very good flavor. I'd say that's a buy.
I think that's the first brown ale that I've seen in like forever that's not like a tribute to someone who's dead. Like every time someone dies, they make a brown ale about him. That's like a thing.
I didn't know that, but I got to pay more attention.
Well, let's see. Alec today brought me a petite lager by Troge.
No, I can't say it.
I don't know.
Troegs.
It's something like that. Independent brewing. So they're independent brewery, which is cool. It's got some cool art inspired by Lori Ramel, whoever that is.
Where are they located?
Pennsylvania. Hershey, Pennsylvania. What was from her? You had a beer from Hershey last episode, right?
Yeah, it might have been another Troegs. I don't remember. I can't keep track.
Well, anyways, there's no ABV because it's from Pennsylvania. They didn't require that, so that's also interesting. It's made with best malts, pills, and flaked rice, and the hops are Hallertau Tradition, Saz, and Citra. And tasting it here. Ooh, I get a lot of the rice, but not as much as you do from like a super rice forward lager. And it's refreshing. It is, we're at nighttime now, finally recording the podcast, which is nice. So I think I'd prefer an IPA now, but yeah, starting off the lager's good. So
I bring you an IPA in the morning, a lager at night. I don't know what I'm doing.
Doug, what you got?
Well, after just moving to Austin and having a very, very good holiday, I guess you could say, I decided to stick with dry January. So we are a little over 24 hours into it. Things are going great so far. It's also 9 o'clock here, so I would normally, have some sort of espresso shot or something. But just getting back from the gym, I'm doing a protein shake. So definitely getting a lot of notes of strawberry, banana, protein powder, little yogurt. But yeah, that's what I got tonight. So I think it's a first for the pod, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, first protein shake.
Yeah, but that's what I got tonight, and some of my favorite right there, some high quality water.
Oh, dude,
Doug drinks more water than anyone I've met.
Yeah, I was about to say for the audience, like Doug is the ultimate water drinker.
That's cool. I mean, I'm sure many of our listeners are participating in dry January, so hopefully some people out there can relate.
Yeah.
I posted a tweet about the fact that we're not participating in dry January, but it does take a lot of discipline, and I'm proud of the people who do it.
Yeah, we keep beer in the budget all year round. So.
Very smart. Yeah, I spent too much on the holidays, so I had to cut out alcohol for a month. Save me some money.
I get it.
It's easy to do that. So,
well, cheers, guys. Woo. 3 friends hanging out. This is cool. All right. So, Doug, as you know, we kind of normally start off each show by getting to know our guests a little bit better. Even though you've been on the co-host on the pod before, why don't you give some more background on who you are? Your story's always been super inspiring to me, as I feel like you're someone who has kind of constantly gotten knocked down over and over in life, and is someone who always just gets right back up and gets after it. I think a lot of people would use their hardships as excuses, but you have really just used yours as the fire to keep going, and have made a pretty awesome life for yourself, making some big changes out there. So share a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah. So, shoot, where to start? I guess I want to start off by saying that, I've been faced with adversity just as both of you guys have, and probably every single listener to this show. And for me, I really look at adversity and challenges in life that everyone deals with them differently. Everyone goes through different challenges, and really being able to just understand that everyone is at their own place in life is super important. So, I know that there's people out there that have it way, way rougher than me, and really would trade lives with me in an instant. So, and for the people that haven't, if you have a 16-year-old kid and the worst thing that's ever happened to them is failing a math test, you kind of have to sympathize for them as well. So that's my little disclaimer. Let's see. To start things off, well, I grew up in Sonoma County, Northern California, born and raised. This is actually the first time I've ever moved anywhere outside of Santa Rosa. So that was definitely a big change for me. Growing up there for 28 years, and being in Sonoma County, it's one of the most beautiful places in the world, and I just felt so thankful. I still have a dream and hope to retire there someday, but in the meantime, I just want to get out, experience some other areas of the country, meet some different people, and just kind of learn all that I can. I let's see. I started working when I was 16. I left high school, or graduated high school a year early. Thought I wanted to go to college, but my father passed away when I was in high school, towards the end, right before I graduated, and I kind of realized, like, I can't expect my mom to, provide for me and my sister. And I, really took work seriously. I was fortunate enough to be full time pretty much at 17 years old, and really enjoyed what I did. So tried to work my way up as fast as possible, and learn as many skills as I could, and hopped into a leadership role, and was learning like hand over fist every month, it felt like. And it was it felt like a college experience for me, and that was that was something that I knew that I wanted to do for a very long time. So after building some of those skills, learning, unfortunately in 2017 we lost our house in the Northern California wildfires. So that was definitely a challenge, but it really just showed me that physical possessions don't mean a thing. There was never one point that I was sad or heartbroken that anything happened to our house. I was really just thankful that my sister, my mom were safe throughout all that. And I know, Jake, you were right there with me. I think I gave you a call that night, let you know that our neighborhood was burning down. Yeah. Fortunate enough, I think your house was just outside of the zone, so you guys were all good. But yeah, it was super challenging. And again, I just really try to look at it as a learning lesson and an opportunity to be in an uncomfortable situation and learn all that I could. And now, if my house ever burns down again, or someone I know, I feel like I'd be a great resource. Learning the ins and outs of like homeowners insurance, things like that, where you don't really know about them until you need to. And I think that that was just a lesson in itself. And fast forwarding a little bit, my mom was sick during that period. Before our house was rebuilt, she unfortunately passed away. So that was probably like my biggest challenge in life. Being a mama's boy from as long as I can remember. And I still say that I am, like, I feel like I always gravitate towards motherly figures just in my life. And that's just something that I always appreciate. I think the job of a mom is probably the hardest job in the world. And they're just special people that I always try to keep close to my heart. So I think that that was a big one for me. And I know both of you guys were around during that point, and I definitely had some changes, but I still felt like I need to keep moving forward. I need to try to take care of my sister in any way that I could. And I still need to look out for kind of my home front, and again, learning throughout all of these difficult times, but really just trying to take it day by day. There was challenging days. I think that it would be strange to say if there wasn't, but again, trying to build off of that. And I feel like I've gone through that situation, and feel like if I ever have any friends, family, or anyone I know that kind of goes through those things, I just really try to be a resource for someone to lean on. And there's no right answer. There's nothing I'm going to say that's going to make it feel better. But again, just going through some of those things and walking through those shoes in the past, it kind of even makes you a little bit better of a listener, someone that can even lend an ear at the very least. So, after a few years after that, I kind of realized, like, I didn't know if I wanted to be in that career path that I was in for forever. And I really wanted to see what else the world had for me in store. And I didn't even know what that meant. I just knew that I needed to get out and go explore. So I'm always a fan of, like, kind of being in an uncomfortable situation, in the sense of, if anyone wants to go take a cold plunge or go skydiving or something like that, like, I'll be the first to say yes, whether it's the smartest decision or not. So, I just felt like I knew I had to go somewhere and go experience something new. So that brought me to the decision of moving out here to Austin. And it's been great so far. And, the relationships that I built since I've been out here have been amazing and a really good time. And, I think that you guys all know this. to the core, but my friends are my family now, and I just feel so thankful for that. So yeah, I don't know. That's a little bit about me on that side. I think. I hope that answered the question a little bit.
Yeah, totally. I think that was great, and I'm glad we spent some time on it because, again, it's I've always looked at your story as really inspiring because, like you kind of said, you just have always continued to get knocked down and just get right back up again. And I think it's really cool hearing about like the physical things aspect when your house is burning down, because I do think some people get so attached to things and think that the things are the things and toys and items are what make them happy. But truly at the end of the day, when your house burned down, it was like, oh my God, like who cares about all that crap? Like, thank God, at least I still have my people, my family, my relationships, and all that kind of stuff, which is, I guess, not a fun thing to experience, but it's definitely a great like learning lesson, and cool to be able to share that story with others. I think it's really awesome as well that you're like talking about helping others that are going through something similar, because it is a really hard position to be in. If you know someone who has someone who passed away or their house burnt down or something crazy happens and you can't really like relate to that, it is comforting being able to have someone who has gone through something similar to you. And like you said, you are just kind of a better listener because you do understand, you have been in those shoes. And being on the other side of someone who hasn't had as much loss, it's hard being in that situation too, because you want to help but you just don't really know how, because you can't necessarily relate. So it's cool that you're turning that around and helping other people out too.
Yeah. No, I mean, I love your story, Doug. I don't love it, but like I just love how you've always been able to get back up, and it doesn't matter what happens. I mean, the fact that when your house burned down, the next day you were still at work, and you went for it, and you just did it, and it's hard to wrap your mind around, because I don't know how I would be able to deal with a lot of the things you've dealt with, but it's like definitely I look up to you in those ways when you've just been able to get back up no matter what.
Totally. And hopefully, I think once you've gone through that many things in life, it's like, what's quitting my job and moving across the country? Like, what's the worst that could happen, And so,
Yeah, no, it's more of like a challenge, and it's some excitement. That yeah, that's a great way to put it.
totally.
Yeah. So how has the transition to Texas been? It's been going great. I know you kind of touched on it a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's been awesome. I mean, it's such a fun, special city. There's so much out here in regards to live music, comedy, but then on the other side of like businesses, relationships, real estate, like a lot of things that excite me in all different areas of my life. So it's been special. Like I can say that I've built some amazing relationships over the last 6 weeks that I've been here, and definitely like some lifelong friendships, and just excited to have both you guys out whenever we can line some dates up. But yeah, it's been really really special and really exciting for sure.
Heck yeah. So I guess we should probably jump into this interview, huh? And talk about our subject of the day.
Yeah, side hustles, right?
Yeah. So this is going to be the first episode of our side hustle series that's going to be coming out. And I know at the end of last year, Alec and I discussed the fact that I think just side hustles are so interesting, and so many people want to pick up a side hustle and figure out, hey, like what's the cool new thing that I can do to make money on the side. And I know, Doug, you kind of got involved in Whatnot. And
I'm sorry, what not?
shut up. The platform is called Whatnot, and told me about it, and I thought it was cool, and I wanted to share it with other people. So tell us what the heck Whatnot is. What's the platform? How'd you hear about it? And get into it.
Yeah, definitely. So it is cool, and it's nerdy, and it's fun, and it's to be honest, something I never thought I would find myself in. But it's a marketplace where you can buy, sell, trade, and kind of just nerd out with other collectors or like-minded people in a ton of different areas. So for myself, like as a kid, I've grown up playing Magic the Gathering. And for those of you that don't know, it's a trading card game, very similar to like a Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh. I would say it's a little more advanced than that.
Way more.
Definitely has like a cult-like following, and was always interested as a kid, and then kind of grew up, didn't really have a ton of interest in it, and then kind of just randomly got back into it more as like a collector versus like a player. And yeah, it was something that I actually heard about through some friends, and at first I was a consumer on that site. So I was like, oh, this is cool. I can buy cards here, like, try to do these giveaways, auctions, these biddings that they have, and really, help my collection. And then, I was like, oh, there's a potential to make some money here. And it takes a few hours of my time during the day. There's not too much work that goes into it. Like, let me just give it a shot. And that's kind of how it started. I partnered with one of my friends on our first stream, and we ended up making $2,400 in 6 hours. So I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. So what if I took it a step further? What if I really, maybe bought some more supplies or grew my inventory a little bit more? So I spent about 3 or 4 weeks really just investing in looking at what other people were doing, other streamers that had bigger followings. I started writing down notes, tips, tricks, things that I saw them doing, and really was like, okay, how am I going to create a brand for me? How am I going to be successful in this? So that was kind of my start through it, and it's been pretty fun, pretty amazing.
So, just for the listeners at home, what is more the difference between say Whatnot and eBay compared? Like, they have auctions, but you're talking about making streams and stuff. How does it differentiate between these other auction sites?
Yeah. So I guess like a simplified way to put it would be, imagine like eBay where your sellers are interacting with you. And it's almost like you're buying and selling things in chat rooms. So you can start a live stream up. You are there interacting with all of your consumers, customers, and they can send you messages. And there's like moderators and stuff. It's not anything crazy, but it's just really special. Like, I think that as a consumer, to buy a $10 card on eBay and get it shipped to your house in 2 weeks is cool, but being able to interact with an individual, someone who's really knowledgeable, and being able to create like an experience and have an experience with that purchase is so much better. So yeah, that's what I would say the difference would be, is that you kind of have like a live face right there versus just an eBay account, someone with 5 stars or whatever.
So it's like if Twitch and eBay had a baby.
Exactly.
That is a great explanation, Jake.
That's 100% what it is.
I gave all my Magic cards to Doug, and then he had to go burn them down. So
yeah, my bad.
That's fucked up. Oh.
All right. So, along with Magic cards, do you sell anything else on there, or is just Magic cards your main supply?
And can Alex sell Pez dispensers on there?
I mean, I've been saying that from the get-go, but I think we both know that Alec will never sell a Pez dispenser in his whole life.
Here's the thing, though. My comic collection, I've thought about going the Whatnot way with it.
Your comic collection would do amazing on there. Yeah. It's definitely a platform for a lot of collectibles. So I would say some of the larger ones are sports memorabilia, sports cards. To put it into context, I watched a sports stream maybe 2 months ago where and I don't know much about sports cards or anything for that matter, but I think these guys did $250,000 in 8 hours of streaming. And again, I'm sure there's cards that go for way more than that you could possibly pull. But to me, I saw that and I was really like, wow, this is something huge. This is something that can be taken seriously. And, if you do it right, there's a potential to make some money. So definitely all trading card games. People do, a ton of different collectibles, from comics to I've seen, what have I seen?
Funko Pops.
Yeah, Pops, Hot Wheels. I've even seen like clothes, like people do, fashion on there and stuff. So it's a really large platform that kind of caters to a lot of different individuals. So,
were you doing it over COVID too, or did it start more recently?
For me, it was very recent, but that is when Whatnot blew up. That is when everyone's favorite stores, game shops, conventions, right, closed down, and there wasn't an option for that. So that's really when they started to gain traction.
So how do you, I guess, spice up like your stream or your, like your account, or the way that you're dishing out these cards? Like, what is it that makes it unique, and or how, like, what are some ways that you are maybe making your cards or your stream better than some of the other accounts that are on there? Because I understand that it's probably pretty competitive, right? At this point.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot of different things that I take into account. Some things that I'm sure we'll get to, like time of day and whatnot. But in regards to just like an actual stream, really just being personable. I think that creating connections with people, and there's some people that maybe they don't get out too much. Maybe they don't have a ton of friends, and they're an avid collector for this one thing. And if you can relate to someone and be respectful and include them, it makes people feel good, and it makes them feel like, oh, I'd rather spend my money here than buying it from one of these big box stores, or from just a random person who I can't put a face to on eBay. So interaction is huge for me. Really trying to connect with your people in your chat. There's people asking questions. Like I'll randomly throw out like music requests. I'm always playing music in the background, and if anyone wants to listen to something, I'd love to put on a fan favorite. And we do things like auctions also, which I'm sure we'll get into. But there's a lot of things you want to do just to make it fun and special, and get people to feel like they're winning or have the potential to win.
That's cool.
So you did bring up auctions. What are the other ways you can sell your product, and what do you most do?
So yeah, I mean, I would love to kind of take you guys through like a normal stream, but there is like buy it now, which is pretty simple. You can put single cards, you can put mystery bags, you can put packs, decks that are built in the buy it now. You can also do auctions where, hey, say you have $100 card, I'll start an auction at $1, and I've had 60, 70, 80 viewers at one time in there just really bidding on one card. And it's pretty special, especially when you make those connections. Like I've seen, say, $100 card sell for $180, because again, it's you're competitive at that point. You're making it something special, not just purchasing the card. So there's buy it nows, there's auctions. The giveaways are pretty cool too. Everyone that's watching or following you can just hit follow and enter and have the potential to win an auction. And they don't do anything else except for that. And they have the chance to win whatever you're giving away. And it's cool that the platform does that, because you have to follow someone to be in the auction. So if you want free stuff, you need to follow them. And what happens with more followers? More exposure. So it's they definitely have a great platform.
That's cool. Sounds like you're building some trust with these followers by doing things like that. Are there accounts out there that are kind of like scammers, or do you feel like since you kind of are face to face, there's like less of that?
Yeah, I mean, fortunately enough, like I haven't experienced with any of that. I haven't obviously done anything shady on there, but you do hear about people that will like sell fake cards, or for example, something that's important to me is shipping time. So if I am selling someone a product, or they buy something from me, I am at the post office by end of day that day, depending on my stream, or the next day, no matter what, shipping out something. Because there is reviews out there. It is a marketplace where you can, there are reviews, and you can get flagged for not being on top of your shipping times, or it selling illegitimate products. So again, I haven't dealt with that too much. I've definitely heard some horror stories with it, but with a review-based system, I think it's tough to be doing shady work and getting away with it for very long. Kind of like anything in life.
Yeah.
I've heard Whatnot's pretty on top of their game. That they're banned accounts that are bad sellers and all tap their stuff. So it sounds like they got like some good policing going on in there.
I will say they have great customer service too, both for sellers and buyers. So they really are. They're really just on top of a lot of things. I can tell you about one situation I had where a customer said that he thought a card that he got was supposed to be holographic, and I was like, man, did I mess up? That was my initial thought. And then I was like, no, because I had a cap on the box of cards that I was selling. No card was worth $40. That specific card that he thought he got was an $80 holographic card. So I was like, no, it wasn't. We kind of opened the case with Whatnot. They reviewed the video, and he was just mistaken. So you can request the video if you're confused about something or unsure. They store it all on their servers, and then they obviously can check it out too.
Oh, that's super cool.
Do you get to keep it yourself, or do you have to go through Whatnot to get your old videos?
Oh, I mean, you can, once they send them to you, you can download them and keep them, but they don't. It's not like they're available to you after every stream.
Okay.
Got it. It's not like Instagram where every other account is a bot or like someone fake. That's cool.
No, Whatnot's pretty on top of their game. I mean, I know sometimes I've seen fun stuff where people like you might buy a rare pack and then you open it in front of everybody. Do you do stuff like that, or like maybe each person buys one card in the pack and then they get the first, second, third card and they or whatever like that?
Yeah. So that's another good point. With that, you look at like just a typical booster pack with 15 cards. Someone can go purchase that at a store for say $15. As someone that's doing this more as a business, I'm able to buy in bulk, right? Which is going to lower my costs. And then at that point, it's like, okay, does this customer want to go spend $15 to get it online or at a store and rip it themselves? Or do they want to spend $15 with me and have it ripped in front of 100 people and they might get a very rare special card? And again, it's really all about creating those experiences and just doing something special. One of my good friends, he is like a cartoon character on there. He's fully tattooed. He has long hair down past his back. He never wears a shirt. He always wears these huge white glasses. He dances all the time. I don't have that much confidence personally, but he's one of the top Magic streamers in the world because of it.
Wow.
And and it shows. And again, it's not like they have the best prices or anything like that. Everyone is fairly competitive, but he's very successful because he entertains, and they do provide good value as well.
That's cool.
I love that part about it. I mean, especially the auction element, and then you kind of bringing your own style to it. I mean, when you get people excited, they would definitely pay more than maybe what book value is and all that stuff. So I don't know. I think it's a great way to just create a community that loves one another, and at the same time, maybe make a little bit of money on the side.
Yeah, like I'm sure like you would pay more money to get a Pez dispenser if it was like an experience rather than just like buying it online,
Well, I mean, it's the same thing. Think about it. Alec, you go to a convention, a Pez convention. I think you probably like purchasing Pez dispensers more there when you're able to interact with vendors versus just buying one on eBay.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I got people I trust, and when you build that trust with them, you're willing to spend more money on the more expensive stuff. You don't want to drop $300 on a card that or whatever you collect that you don't know the person you're buying from.
Yeah, totally. So I guess what's the profitability look like for one session, and what are some of the costs that you incur to put them on?
Yeah, absolutely. So to take you through, pretty basic session, something like mystery bags. That's a great example. Definitely large value inside of those. So that's exactly what it is. It's a mystery bag. Generally, with your highest price cards or your top prizes, you can call it like the hit. What's the hit of these mystery bags? We'll take a picture or have the physical card there on stream, and that's what everyone wants to get. Generally, I try to do a few. If I have like 10 bags, I'll have 2 bags that are very, very high value and attractive, right, for a consumer. And if we're doing 10 bags and each bag costs $50, that's $500, right? I'm gonna put in there probably 2 $100 cards, and then maybe the other 3 or 4 bags will have about $50 worth of cards value, and that can be in the form of booster packs or singles or graded cards. And then maybe 3 or 4 that are costing, between like 25 and $30. So again, you can't give away a product like that for free. You can't, you can't run a business losing money. So there is an element for these customers to not have the complete value that they're investing in a purchase. But I think that's where it's important for these sellers to have their kind of their best places to go get their cards. So I have friends that collect Magic that will only sell to their friends and individuals or trade. So I think it's kind of twofold. Like as a seller, you want to be able to have reliable connections to get cards, and you want to, you really want to be able to provide value on your platforms for all of the customers. To talk about some numbers though. So like I said, I'd probably put up 2 $100 cards at, and that's their value. I would probably say that I would get those around between $70 or $80. Then those $50 value bags, I think with my costs, I could get them between $35 to $40. And then, the floor is what they're called. Those bags would be, right around 20 to 30 bucks. So I'm all in for right around a little over $300, and you're making $500. And that's a super broad example. Generally, bags are, between $20 to $200, and there's normally a lot more than 10. You're looking at lots of 50, 60. Even I've seen even streams with 100 bags. So you take that profitability margin and multiply that by 10. It's a lot bigger of a number, obviously.
So when it comes to collector's items, a lot of times you have a lot of competition. How do you kind of keep your inventory in stock? I mean, you even just mentioned graded cards. It's not necessarily, you don't just find graded cards on the street. You got to kind of go somewhere to get those. So how do you go about doing all of that? And
you use your friends, you said, a little bit, right?
Yeah, and again, not to divulge in too many secrets, but like
that's true.
no. I mean, to be transparent, like I'll buy from other streams as well. Especially, towards the end of the night, if people have a certain amount of bags that they want to sell, they need to sell. I've even seen some streams that maybe it's so diluted with so many other sellers on there that they have a lot of good value. There's just not a ton of customers out there, or there's one stream that has 300 people in it. So the next best stream might only have 30, 40 people in it. So I think being smart about where you're buying from as a consumer anywhere is important. But then also, like I'm really big on buying singles from single cards from other websites that I trust, that are graded, and that can even be through eBay. I've purchased cards from there before, and with the intent though, as an investment. I know I'm going to sell this. I know I'm going to be able to get this return on it. But again, it doesn't have the fireworks. It's not as fun as doing it on a platform like Whatnot.
Cool. So you keeping these cards for yourself, or you're at the point now where it's just flip it and get profit?
So there's about 10 cards that I probably will never sell in my whole life. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see one day. I think there's some sentimental value attached. Besides that, though, I just really try to treat it as a business. I just like the idea of being able to, create a game where someone or 2-3 people are going to win pretty big, and that's pretty fun. So I don't know. We'll see kind of what the future holds.
Do you have a fun name or something, or what's like your name on Whatnot?
What? So that is something that's pretty big. I just have like Doug E, like Doug E Fresh. So that's my tag on there. But yeah, people do definitely play with the names and get creative. I'm not that creative of a person, like I said. So mine's kind of boring. But there's a lot of really great animated names out there.
That's cool. Is there like a best day of the week or like time to put these on?
Yeah. So like I said, about every single weeknight between 5 and midnight, it's there's a ton of people. There's a ton of streamers on there. Everyone's, either done with their job, or the people that sleep in late, they're just starting their day. Like I said, people do this as a full-time business. And I was really big about like just getting up in the morning, starting my day as early as possible, and tried to make some lifestyle changes to where, I was in the gym at 5 or 6 a.m. and I would get home from that, and it's 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, I wonder what this would be. So my first solo stream was at 7 in the morning, and I had no expectations. I wasn't sure, how it was going to go, and it did great. I sold out all my cards. I think it was an $1,800 day, and I was just like blown away. So I'm much more of like a morning streamer because there's less competition. But again, it's cool how they do it. You can bookmark shows. So a lot of people say like, hey, before you go, bookmark my next show. So you get like a notification that someone's going live. If that makes sense.
Oh, that is cool.
So I guess when you're getting started, going back to the beginning, when you're getting started, do you have to get like verified or anything? Like you first have to join and maybe watch some streams and they verify you, or how's that work?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I had the same question because I was like, hey, I have these Magic cards. I want to see how it goes. And what I found out is you actually do need to take pictures of your inventory and send to Whatnot, because they don't want someone to hop on a stream with no cards or no inventory and either A, scam someone, B, not have enough product to really, be sustainable on the platform. So yeah, I had to send in pictures of my identification. You get email verified as well, phone number, all that. And then, yeah, I had to take, I think, 8 different pictures of my full collection of cards and send it in. And I don't know what their parameters are as a business, but I had enough cards. So, yeah.
Is there a monthly membership already too, or no?
No. So, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I was just gonna say, yeah, do they charge?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they do charge. They take 8% out of each sale. So building that into your profitability is important too. The cool thing is though, like the seller pays for all of their shipping and taxes. So if I'm selling $100 card, I know I'll clear $92 if I sell it for $100. With that being said, I think that's important as a business aspect to make sure that you're including those numbers as well. Whatnot's great though, because it will generate and send you all the printing labels that you need, all first class mail. So once once a sale is done and you're ready to pack and ship everything, they make it really easy, really user friendly. So
That's cool. How much does like I don't know, like a printer and labels and envelopes and all that kind of stuff normally run?
Yeah. So at first, what I did was just printed everything, cut it, 9x11 paper, cut it all out with scissors, taped it all on.
God.
And I quickly realized I was so inefficient. So really, to get me going, I bought a bulk pack of bubble mailers, is what they're called, on Amazon. I bought a thermal printer along with just the thermal paper for all the labels, and it's like the double sticky one. So once you print it out, you can just stick it right on the bubble mailer. You rip off the back of the bubble mailer and seal it. You have a package done. So I went from it taking me probably 2-3 hours to pack, all the customers' items to 15 minutes to 45 minutes, just depending on how big the orders are. And a printer's like $150. The thermal paper is super cheap, and then the bubble mailers are super cheap. So it's definitely an investment. And again, I didn't do that till after my second stream and realized that there was some profit that was there. But yeah, all the people that are super serious really just try to optimize their time, because at the end of the day, time is money.
I hate cutting things out. That's so bad.
I've seen your wrapping paper.
I actually paid one of my friends to do it the second time for me because I didn't like it so much the first time. And then after that, I was like, well, I can't keep doing this. So I'm just going to figure out how to make it as easy as possible.
Oh, yeah. That's funny. Well, I guess, I don't know. You have any other questions, Alec?
I guess, my favorite thing to ask now is, what are some failures you had? Have you ever gone on a stream and nobody came on? Have you gone with a bunch of product, but maybe 90% of it didn't sell? I mean, what are the fails like on Whatnot?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And, I really try to plan a stream out and look at it from all angles on, why it would fail, why it wouldn't succeed. And, I've only had one stream where I haven't sold out of everything. I'm sorry, 2 streams that I haven't sold out of everything. And one of them was because the chase card, what everyone's chasing after, was picked in both of them were picked in the first 5 bags. So at that point, as a customer, you're like, well, I know these cards aren't here anymore. Why am I going to spend money on what I don't know is here? So being able to create that chase and really learning that there's streamers that won't open any of the bags until they're all sold out, something like that, which isn't a fan favorite, to be transparent, but really just building that into your plan for the show, I think, is important. That happened to me another time, something similar, and I just got some other cards and threw them in there. So that's definitely a big one. Yeah, picking times where a million other people are on is another challenge, because you're not gonna stand out 1 out of 150 people. It's a lot easier to stand out 1 out of 8 or 1 out of 12, and that's what I was doing. And real hardcore collectors, if they know you're able to provide value, they'll set an alarm. They'll get up early. Oh, yeah. Not only that, I was selling to people in the army that are in South Korea at 7 a.m, and it was 8 o'clock at night there, something like that. So there's people from all over the world that have these same collections. Like Alec, you know this better than anyone. You're not the only guy that likes Pez collectors, you know?
Nope.
So I think just being able to kind of identify what your audience is looking for and knowing where they're at, not everyone that I was selling to was living in California. And that's what was cool too, is seeing these packing labels like, I'm shipping to 35 different states and 3 different countries. That's kind of cool. So I hope that kind of answered the question.
No, that was perfect. I love that. Yeah, because I mean, I never know how it goes with these things. I do want to kind of get into it and start selling my comic books on it. So I love this has been my favorite pod in a while because I want to finally get rid of my comic book collection. I think it's a good time to do it and make some extra cash. So
Need to find something like that I like to collect. Right now, all I like to collect is money.
Hey, well, you're pretty good at that. So I mean,
working out. I mean, when you're trying to sell it, let me know. But
all right, Doug. Any last minute tips for someone looking to get started before we move on to our lightning round?
I would say just do it. No one's perfect at anything right when they first start, and getting uncomfortable, getting out there. I'm fairly confident. I'm not that nervous of a guy when I try something new, but I was sweating my first time. Like I didn't know if I was going to say something wrong or do something incorrectly, and really just building the repetition helped so much. So I think that if anyone did want to do that, just start off by maybe going on a few streams. You can watch it for free and not buy anything, and just see how other sellers run their business, and take some notes, and sign up and get after it.
Just don't be afraid to be yourself too.
Exactly. Wear the big glasses, take off your shirt, dance, do what that one guy does, or just sit and
100%.
chill and be yourself. It doesn't matter. So
people who are the most genuine, are the ones who win for sure.
exactly.
All right, can you schedule them ahead of time so people can like see?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
I follow Instagram pages where some of these sellers that do whatnot, and they're like countdown, like 7 days to our whatnot sale, 6 days. I mean, they get a cult following, and they get people that want to be on there when they're selling.
That's cool. Right on.
All right.
We'll on to our lightning round.
Yep, yeah, I'm ready.
Let's do it.
All right, Doug, what is your favorite beer or beverage?
Favorite beer? I think I would probably have to say it's changed over the last few years, but Daytime by Lagunitas is just, it's always an easy drinker for me. I can probably have a few more than I should. And it's just, for me, it's not a seasonal beer. Like I go through times where like, oh man, IPA sounds great right now, or like, oh, Coors Light's good, but Daytime year round, I can definitely, night or day. Can be my breakfast beer, or it can be what we're drinking at 11 at night.
Yeah, Daytime is nice because it's like sometimes you feel when you're drinking cheap beer like during the day, it just feels like this is like the all day. Just I don't know, it just doesn't feel as good as like tasting an IPA that you can drink all day, because that really just mostly doesn't exist.
Oh no, not at all.
So I like it. What's your favorite book?
This is a tough one. I think over the last year or two, I really switched from like leadership focused books to more like real estate books, largely because of you. But I think a good mix, Set for Life, is probably up there. It's such a great book, and I don't know, it's amazing.
Unfortunately, the world
is the man.
Yeah.
Whoa, your computer's talking to us.
Siri needs to calm down over there.
Right.
He was like, "What about Scott Trench?"
All right, here's a good question, Doug, because I know you've been to a lot of places. So, what is your favorite place you have visited and place you want to visit next?
So, I've definitely been on, quite a few memorable trips, and I've actually more recently done some more traveling by myself and been to some really special places. And I realized that a lot of the time, my most fondest places that I visited are not the location. It's just the people that I'm with and the memories that I made there. So I think when we all went to Cabo, that was probably a highlight. If I'm just going off of location, I went to Kauai last year, and that was really special. It's an incredible place, and kind of feels like you're in a movie. So either Cabo or Kauai. And then place that I want to visit next, or favorite place that I want to go, I think I'm going to have to say Italy. I kind of have this dream of doing like a north to south Italy trip on a train and kind of ending in Sicily or the Amalfi Coast, and really just experiencing, all parts of Italy.
That's cool. I dig it. Second to last question, because I came up with a bonus question.
Ooh.
What does retirement look like / mean to you?
So I think retirement looks like, or means, freedom. I know you say it all the time, but I don't see people that are quote unquote retired, especially at a young age, just sitting on a beach forever. I really think, retirement is just the ability to do what you want when you want. And if you're able to achieve that, and find maybe like a side hustle that you enjoy, it seems like a pretty fulfilling retirement. So hopefully be there sooner than later, but got to keep chugging along, and the side hustle definitely helps.
Yeah,
Definitely. Well, our bonus question, since it is January 2nd at the time of this recording, any New Year's resolutions?
Yeah, so I think resolution is a term. I saw something today at work. It was in an email, and it said a New Year's resolution is more like what was it? It was like a schedule for your first week of January or something like that. And I think I make resolutions every year and seem to fall short on them every year. So I really try to come up with goals and plans. A resolution is to resolve a problem or an issue, but if you can come up with a plan and a goal and how you're going to get there each day, each week, each month, to build these habits that are going to last forever, I think it's much more rewarding. So to share some of those with you guys, I do have a bunch. I actually can pull them up right here. But one big thing that I thought about is time. It's something that's really, 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 really hard to get back, and we only have so much of it. And I really wanted to figure out how to like optimize my time this year in different areas. So utilizing my calendar, looking at the start of my week, planning it out, and then at the end of my week, looking where I went wrong, where I missed the mark. So I think calendar management is probably like my biggest on there. I also want to start tracking a lot of different areas of my life. For example, what I eat. I bought a few journals, and I'm going to write down everything I eat, because if I write down chocolate donuts 6 times a week, probably feel a little bit embarrassed about that when I go back and review that. So that's kind of something that I think is going to hold me accountable internally. Also, writing down like my workouts, and how many days I'm going to the gym, what times I'm going to the gym, see if I can try to really come up with some patterns that are going to stick. And again, if I'm writing it down and reviewing those, it's going to be so much easier for me to hold myself accountable kind of internally. So besides that, I really want to put a focus on like others. So I know one good one that I thought of, and unfortunately this is the start of it, so I really want to see what I can do in years to come. But volunteering in the community 4 times a year, so once a quarter. And that doesn't mean waiting till the last 4 days of December in 2023 to go volunteer every day. I really want to start with once a quarter, and then ideally once a month, and really just try to be someone in the community that is helpful and a resource in whatever capacity that is. Because I think that if we want to see changes in our community and the places that we live, we kind of need to be a driving force, because it's really easy to complain. I think we're all really good at it, probably too good at it. But so I think those are a few to share with you guys.
I love those. Calendar organization is amazing, but I think giving back to the community is awesome too. I mean, I had never volunteered at all my entire life until this past year, and that was only because my girlfriend had to volunteer for school. But doing it, like, it was a good feeling after it. Like, I was just giving food out, and I don't know, it's something that it only took an hour out of my week, and it wasn't difficult at all, and it was a good feeling. So I like that.
Yeah, giving does give you just such a good feeling. And I think sometimes people think of giving as only having to do with like money. And I think more often than not, giving your time is just as powerful, if not more powerful. And so that's a great goal to be able to do more of. We talked in the intro of the show about the newest episode from Andy Frisella's podcast about setting New Year's resolutions and goals, and he really talks about how it's not setting like the people who are successful don't set resolutions, they set plans and they stick to them and they just do them, you know. And I think it's cool that, especially when you're talking about like writing things down and actually tracking them, is that those are things that do build discipline, which is ultimately what allows you to achieve whatever goals, whatever resolutions that you have, right? And in the book, The Power of Habit, it talks about writing things down, such as like, you know, what you're eating, or you know, if you talked about like eating a donut every day, it's like, if I know I have to pull this book out, write down, hey, okay, I ate this donut, this is how many calories it was, etc. Like, it's creating, it's not, almost like not even worth the donut by just having to do the act of pulling out the book and writing down about the donut, you know. And not only that, but it makes you
Like
feel like a
crap
piece of
about
shit,
it.
right? Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
And so I think that's all really good stuff. And I can't imagine you not crushing your goals. So I dig it.
Cool. Well, I guess that's under the lightning round. So, Doug, I know you're not the biggest in social media, so maybe one more time for the audience. What is your whatnot name again?
So my whatnot name is Doug E. So it's Duggee. Yeah, I'm on whatnot. I know, you know, me and Jake were talking last month. I'm eventually going to get an Instagram, hopefully just for business purposes, because I don't think I can succumb to leisure social media anymore. I really enjoy face-to-face conversations, or that's kind of where I would rather put my energy and my time, getting to know others. So yeah, but I mean, again, I hope to be on the pod one day again, hopefully back on that side. But yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on the pod today, Doug.
Sweet. All righty, brother. Thanks again. Like Alex said, love you and have a great night.